Big Youth was never a singer in the traditional sense. He was the first true street voice of reggae, raw, confrontational, and spoken straight from Kingston's concrete. Long before rap reached radio, Big Youth became the missing link between Jamaican sound system culture and American hip-hop. He didn't sing for charts. He didn't serve power. His music wasn't polished in glossy studios. It was forged in real Kingston yards. To understand that voice, we go back to Trenchtown, to a life without glamour, and to a legacy that quietly reshaped rap itself. Big Youth, born Manly Augustus Buchanan on April 19, 1949, did not grow up dreaming of fame. He grew up learning how to survive with a voice. Trenchtown, sometimes linked with nearby Raytown, was not just his neighborhood, it was his classroom. In that part of Kingston, music wasn't polished or theoretical. It was loud, competitive, and unforgiving. If your voice couldn't command attention, it disappeared. His home life was rigid and tense. His mother was a strict Christian pastor who believed deeply in discipline and order. His father, a police officer, represented authority in a community that often lived in conflict with it. Poverty shaped daily life, and clashes at home were common. Big Youth was strong-willed, outspoken, and rarely obedient by nature. School could not contain him. By the time he was around 13 or 14, he dropped out entirely, choosing independence over structure. Work came early. He trained as a mechanic, repairing diesel engines and vehicles at Kingston hotels like the Skyline and later the Sheraton. It was heavy, physical labor, oil-stained hands, long hours, little recognition. Yet it was in those empty service rooms and echoing corridors that his future began. Alone after hours, he practiced projecting his voice, experimenting with rhythm, timing, and tone. His co-workers noticed him immediately. Despite being younger than most of them, he was taller, bigger, and carried himself with confidence. They started calling him Big Youth, half joke, half prophecy. The name stayed because it fit the presence he was developing. Outside of work, Kingston's sound system culture was exploding. Live dances were where reputations were made or destroyed in a single night. Big Youth was drawn to the DJs, the men who spoke over records, commanding crowds with wit and authority. He studied U-Roy, whose melodic style had already revolutionized reggae DJing. But where U-Roy flowed, Big Youth attacked. His delivery was sharper, more aggressive, and openly political. By the late 1960s, he was testing himself at street dances, learning quickly what worked and what failed. Crowds were brutal judges. Gradually, his name spread. By 1970, he secured a spot with the legendary Lord Tippertone sound system, one of the most respected in Jamaica. This was a turning point. Night after night, he sharpened his voice, mixing humor, warning, social commentary, and bravado into a style that felt dangerous and new. Producers soon came calling. His earliest recordings between 1971 and 1972 were with figures like Jimmy Radway, Lee Scratch Perry, and Phil Pratt. These tracks, The Best Big Youth, Moving Version, Tell It Black, showed promise but didn't yet break through commercially. Big Youth was still finding the right sonic partner. That partner arrived in 1972 in the form of Augustus "Gussie" Clarke, a young producer with a keen ear for street energy. Their collaboration changed everything. Tracks like The Killer and Tippertone Rock exploded across Jamaica, followed by S90 Skank, built around the raw sound of a revving motorcycle engine. It became Big Youth's first #1 hit, a record that sounded nothing like radio polish, and that was exactly the point. Albums followed quickly and decisively. Chi Chi Run, 1972, Screaming Target, 1973, and later Reggae Phenomenon positioned Big Youth as the defining DJ voice of Roots reggae's golden era. He didn't sing love songs. He narrated street reality. Over classic rhythms, he spoke about power, struggle, resistance, and identity, doing what American hip-hop would later do, years before the Bronx found a microphone. As the late 1970s faded, reggae changed. Digital rhythms took over. Labels retreated. Roots DJs like Big Youth fell out of fashion. But he never disappeared. Appearances at Reggae Sunsplash, protest recordings like Free South Africa, and later collaborations with modern dub producers kept his voice relevant. Big Youth never chased trends. He stayed grounded in principle. And that decision would shape not only his legacy, but also the kind of life and income that followed. Income and net worth. There are no reliable, publicly confirmed estimates of his net worth from major celebrity wealth trackers. He does not appear on lists of the richest reggae or dancehall artists, where later generation figures like Sean Paul or Rita Marley reach into the tens of millions. Big Youth came from a different era, and he played by very different rules. His commercial peak arrived in the early 1970s, a time when Jamaica's music industry was notoriously informal. Contracts were loose, royalties were unclear. Producers usually controlled the masters, while artists were paid small upfront fees, often once, sometimes late, and occasionally not at all. Big Youth has openly spoken about having to fight to get paid for records that were already hits, including S90 Skank, his first Jamaican #1 song in 1972. Income from record sales and royalties did exist, but it was inconsistent. Albums like Screaming Target, 1973, Dreadlocks Dread, 1975, and later releases on Trojan and Virgin Frontline helped build his international reputation, but they did not translate into long-term financial security. Even when he released music on his own label, Nagusa Nagest, later Augustus Buchanan, the scale remained modest by global standards. The most reliable source of income throughout his career was live performance. In Jamaica, he earned through sound system work, most notably as a resident DJ for Lord Tippertone, where reputation mattered more than contracts. Internationally, his earnings came from touring, especially European festivals, and recurring appearances at Reggae Sunsplash from the 1980s onward. These shows paid respectably, but never extravagantly. In short, Big Youth didn't get rich from reggae, but reggae, and later rap, got richer because of him. And with that influence came a responsibility he never ignored, giving back where he could, quietly, without fanfare. Philanthropy. Long before social media turned charity into content, Big Youth understood his role as an elder voice in Jamaican culture, someone who shows up when the community needs him, not when cameras are rolling. One clear example came in February 2019, when he performed as the main artist at a charity event organized to support fellow reggae legend Junior Biles. Framed publicly as a birthday celebration, the event functioned as a quiet fundraising effort, common in reggae culture, where artists step in for one another during moments of health or financial hardship. Big Youth didn't headline for prestige. He headlined to help. Beyond individual acts, his name has also been linked to major humanitarian organizations in Jamaica. Among them is Food for the Poor Jamaica, one of the country's largest and most respected charities. The organization focuses on food security, medical aid, housing support, education supplies, agricultural assistance, and disaster relief, working with more than 1,300 local partner organizations. Big Youth's alignment with Food for the Poor reflects a practical concern for survival-level needs, feeding families, stabilizing communities, and responding quickly when crises hit. He has also been associated with American Friends of Jamaica, AFJ, a U.S.-based nonprofit that channels funding into Jamaican initiatives in education, healthcare, economic development, and disaster recovery. Through AFJ and its network of partner organizations, such as Helping Hands Jamaica Foundation, which focuses on building and restoring schools, resources reach children who would otherwise be locked out of opportunity. These are not flashy causes, they are foundational ones. What stands out across Big Youth's philanthropic footprint is restraint. He never created a foundation with his name on it. He never branded himself as a humanitarian. His involvement followed the same code as his music. Serve first, speak second. In reggae culture, credibility is earned through action, not announcements. And Big Youth understood that instinctively. And when the stage lights go off and the benefit concerts end, that same philosophy carries into his private world, where family, legacy, and continuity matter more than recognition. Personal life. Across decades of visibility as a cultural rebel, he has kept his personal life deliberately out of reach. No tabloid narratives, no curated family image, no public explanation. What is known has emerged naturally, through presence rather than promotion. The most visible extension of his personal world is his son, Isat Buchanan. Born on December 12, 1978, in St. Andrew, Jamaica, Isat represents a new generation shaped by reggae culture but unwilling to be limited by it. While music runs through his identity, he has released reggae recordings and remains deeply tied to the culture. Isat chose a different front line, law and public life. His academic path was disciplined and conventional. After attending Meadowbrook High School, he studied at the University of the West Indies and later the Norman Manley Law School, where he was admitted to the bar in 2017. National attention followed quickly. Isat became widely known after representing dancehall artist Vybz Kartel in a successful appeal against a murder conviction, one of the most high-profile legal cases in modern Jamaican history. The case placed him firmly in the public eye, earning both respect and scrutiny. That scrutiny intensified in 2023, when Isat was temporarily suspended from legal practice after publicly insulting Jamaica's chief prosecutor, Paula Llewellyn, in a YouTube video. He later appealed the decision, arguing the punishment was excessive, and issued a public apology. The episode revealed something familiar in the Buchanan lineage: a refusal to soften one's voice, even when authority pushes back. In recent years, Isat expanded his role further into politics. He was nominated as the People's National Party candidate for East Portland in the September 2025 general election. His platform centered on education, healthcare, and economic opportunity, issues deeply rooted in community reality rather than ideology. Big Youth stood openly behind him, attending a November 2024 event to formally introduce Isat to supporters. It was a rare public gesture, but a meaningful one. The father-son bond is defined less by instruction and more by example. In a 2021 birthday tribute, Isat called his father an angel on earth and his greatest supporter and role model. The words carried weight precisely because Big Youth rarely seeks acknowledgement. As for Big Youth himself, his life remains anchored in Kingston. Interviews often find him at Small World Studio, at the corner of Charles and Orange Streets, historic Beat Street, where reggae history still breathes. He speaks easily about growing up nearby in Raytown and Matches Lane, just blocks away. These are not distant memories. They are living coordinates. He has stayed involved in preserving that history, including restoring a mural of himself on Orange Street, not as self-promotion, but as cultural record. Kingston, loud and unfiltered, remains his chosen ground. In that choice lies the clearest truth about Big Youth's personal life. He didn't escape his roots. He passed them forward, to family, to community, and to the future. Thank you for spending this time with us, and for honoring voices that shaped music without chasing fame. If this story resonated, like and subscribe for more deep dives into real legacies. And in the comments, tell us, which Big Youth lyric still feels true today? Thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.